Okay, guys, it's that time of year again. Audiophile shows for 2025. Yes, I did go to CES earlier this year, but that doesn't really qualify as an audiophile show. The Florida Audio Expo, though, in Tampa, Florida, next week, February 21st, that definitely qualifies for one. It's their 7th annual, and it keeps getting better and better. Super fun show, lots to look forward to. This Zoom I have with the organizer, as well as some of my members, and Mike Swek of Unique Home Audio. We're going to preview lots of cool things for you. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. Super cool video for you today. It's a Zoom with one of the organizers of the Florida Audio Expo, Bart. Great guy, one of the best organizers of shows, and that's one of my favorite shows of the year. It's not the biggest of them all, and it's only been around for 7 years, but it keeps getting better and better each year. A new venue this year. You're going to hear about a lot of first that are going to be at this show. Number one, from products that he's got a list of different brands that have told him about products, first time ever, some really cool stuff. And also car audio for the first time. And anybody that overlooks car audio, you're going to want to pay attention in this Zoom why you shouldn't. Also, I'm kind of known for show coverage. That's why it's my favorite time of year. But I'm actually wearing multiple hats. And we're not talking about these hats, although I'm going to bring some cool hats to the show. But I'm talking about multiple hats in terms of role. I usually am known for my press coverage, going in all the rooms, and I'm definitely going to be doing some of that and deputizing others to do that for me as well. But there's a room that couldn't be used by any other vendor. However, Bart, through Mike Swek, told me about it. I learned about it, and I said, actually, I can take it and showcase something that's never been seen before at any show. So I spill the beans in this Zoom. They kind of got me, pressured me to spill the beans. I was going to keep it a secret, but we're going to learn about that in this video, as well as Mike Swek's going to talk about his room with the Poporis, after hours, before hours, lots of cool stuff. So stay tuned. Getting a chance to promote this show because it's become one of my favorites, not just because of the brands that go. It's always very high quality brands. I can't even think of any brands that I'm not a big fan of that go to your show. It's all the good brands, and the vibe is really good. And it's a testament to you and your partners that put on the show. And you've also been very proactive in reaching out to the press and helping make our jobs easier. And so obviously, I want to promote people like yourself that are doing shows the right way. And what is this, how many years have you been doing this show? Just in case people don't know.
Yeah, it's I think this is our 8th year and our 7th show. I mean, we had to miss the 1 year because of obvious reasons. But yeah, I believe this is number 7 coming up, and of course, really excited with the new venue, and also really excited about bringing sound quality car audio to the tent because
So
a lot
that's
of
an
people don't.
important part. That's not been part of the show before, right?
No, none of the home audio shows have ever done that to the best of my knowledge. And a lot of people don't understand sound quality versus the SPL. These cars sound really good.
Right.
And a lot of the people in the industry got their start back in the 90s when car audio was a really, really big thing. And we're trying to bring that back because it's music lovers at the end of the day.
That's right. I mean, there's no reason why, if you're an audiophile, you should sacrifice when you're in your car, which you spend quite a bit of time in your car and listening to music. So, in fact, there's a few members in fact, Bob is on the call today, participated in competitions. There's another one that has a van that is won some awards and very much into the car audio. And yeah, it's competition at an even a higher level than we would even think in the audiophile realm. They actually have benchmarks. They use measurements. They have everything. I mean, they are very particular with performance. And so I'm very anxious to hear what is possible in cars, because with DSP nowadays and the amount of money that they put into those, that's going to be a really cool part for audiophiles to see another avenue to spend your money potentially. So
Well, yeah, and you know what? Some of the audiophiles that are very fortunate financially and maybe retired, it can be another aspect of the hobby to get into the competition thing. I could very easily see a few people saying, "Hey, this is pretty freaking awesome," and yeah, why not jump in here? So yeah, we're really excited. We've got a couple of cars coming from California.
Whoa,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
long way.
no, that's these people are just as serious as any home audiophile or music lover, and really that's kind of the thing. I mean, the whole thing at the end of the day is celebrating music. My mission, sincerely, is to turn off the news and turn on the music. Everyone wins there.
Yeah. And certainly in your car is one aspect that a lot of audiophiles overlook, which is ironic because a lot of audiophiles, in fact, the one I just visited in North Carolina, he's got great cars. He's got some Porsches, and almost every one of my friends that has MBL Extremes, they also have Ferraris.
Yeah,
And but tying the two together to get that audio system in there is often overlooked. So I'm very anxious to see that. And kudos to you to bringing that to a show. I think the home entertainment show back in Irvine, way back in the day, tried to do something like that, but not to this level of competition level audio. So that's great to hear. In terms of vendors and size of this show, is it about the same as last year or bigger?
yeah. The biggest difference is, pardon me, we have a lot more large rooms on the main floor. The ground floor, there are 12 large rooms, and then there's on the fourth floor, and we only go up 4 floors, which is really going to help with elevator traffic.
Okay,
Uh, that's really
that's big.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 5 big penthouses up there, so there's going to be a lot more statement systems
Okay.
with that kind of room. And then, of course, Friday and Saturday nights we're going to have live music, both poolside, weather permitting, and we have a jazz guitarist playing in the lobby bar. So we're going to be celebrating music every way we can.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's a good point, which to bring Mike Swek in with Unique Home Audio because he's taking one of those bigger rooms. He
Right,
was originally going to have a smaller room, he was telling me, and then you had reached out to him with an opportunity to get a bigger room, and he's been promoting wonderful speakers, these Poporis, really taking off with orders left and right, and I've even been a fan of them, and he's got a bigger room, and then on top of that, he told me that you had reached out to him and said you had a conference room, but it can't be really used for audio, normal audio purposes because it's got a fixed boardroom table in it.
right.
But then I was like, wait, I've got a product that might be ready for this show that I'm going to debut. And so I've got that room that you couldn't sell otherwise. I'm going to take it and I'm going to debut something that is, I'm going to do a separate video to debut that. I'll just let people know that I will be in a room and I've got some help that is going to allow me to still do my press duties and help out with Mike Sweck's room. But yeah, that's going to be must see. First time ever a room with a boardroom in it, a boardroom table in it is going to be used. So lots of firsts that you guys are doing with this Tampa show. Um, but we can get to Mike in a second. Why don't you go ahead and tell me some of the other brands and stuff that are debuting something new and cool?
Okay, yeah, no, I'd love to. I was actually going to ask you about what you were bringing to the party
Okay,
because
I'll
I am
disclose it
interested.
at the end then. Okay.
Okay. So anyway, first I want a shout out to Cobuzz because once again they're our platinum sponsor. They've been on board since day one, and so we're very grateful to them. And of course, all the sound quality. We're looking at 35 cars that roughly that are going to be coming for that event. So let's see. Claris is doing a U.S. debut of the Atrium speaker. Uh, Audio is bringing an Icon 12 that's a world debut. Oniros from the UK is bringing a new large speaker, and that'll be a world debut. We have the Living Voice R80 world debut.
Wow.
Volti's bringing a Vitoris world debut, and TriPoint Audio is bringing something they call a Emperor Signal Instrument Filter, and it's some kind of a noise reduction uh, for AC power, is my understanding. Anyway, it's pretty cool that these people see fit to do their debuts at our show. We're very pleased and honored that they have the faith to do that.
Yeah, and really, you are the first major audiophile show in North America, at least US, for 2025. You started in February, and Tampa is a great venue, city to have it. There's lots to do at night. It's a great town to go. It's just one problem. It's tough to get dinner reservations in Tampa because the population has grown so much that the infrastructure hasn't caught up to it. And you have to literally book reservations a month or so in advance, especially for some of these great steakhouse like Burns. But
Yeah.
we've got the hookup for that as well. So yeah, it's if you don't have reservations, you're coming, definitely book reservations now if you can even get dinner reservations at places that are nice, because it's just so tough. And this venue is a little bit further out from the airport than the last one. Can you give a little bit on the location?
Yeah, okay. So for driving, it's really pretty easy. It's basically right at the intersection of I-75 and I-4.
Okay.
So people traveling from out of town, it's very easy. Unfortunately, it's a half hour to maybe 45 minutes, depending on traffic from the airport. And
Okay.
it's annoying, but I think once you get to the venue, you like it. And the restaurant, the hotel is actually putting a better than normal menu together for dinners for those that
Oh,
need that. And so anyway, yeah, that's something. Nobody's going to go hungry.
that's good. Yeah, I mean, in fact, the other venue was convenient, but you did have the problem with the elevators. In fact, last year we got stuck on the elevator. I think it was last year, and they were a problem with so
Yes.
many. And so this, I think we could spread out a little bit more. And I'm anxious to see these conference rooms and see that these systems that are cost no object, give them room to breathe. And I know that Mike Swek was anxious to debut the WR1 Potpourri, which is a bigger model, but in the background, he's got the WR3. You're debuting that for the first time, both the WR1 and the WR3, two models that weren't at Capital Audio Fest. Potpourri, you're going to be able to hear those with and without subs, because you're bringing two subs, right, Mike? Okay.
That's awesome.
He's going to have Margulis. Oh, and there's another debut. I just recently did a video on an Angela Gilbert Young power conditioner collaboration with myself. That's going to debut. That model will be in Mike's room. Also, with Via Blue is going to be there. Anything else in your room? I think you're muted. Your mic is not working. Yeah, your mic. No, we can't. You can't hear him, can you?
No.
It doesn't show muted though.
Michael, you're muted.
Did he mute himself?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. You muted my video.
Yeah, I just wanted to get the
I did I did clean up.
okay, let me make you let's see. Tom, you have a face for radio.
Yeah, I do.
Well, you're not the only one, Tom.
No, actually, the one that I made sure the camera, actually, he already did it for himself, is Bob. We don't want to show Bob. Bob's in the waiting room. No, Bob is going to be debuting. He's already shown me some outfits. He likes to outdo me on outfits. So he's already shown me what he's packing in his. So we're going to have, it's going to be a lot of fun after hours while Mike's getting his mic fixed. I know that several rooms are going to be doing after hours. And I think that's an important thing to note, is that you have show hours. What are the show hours again? Official show hours, Bart?
They are 10 to 6 Friday and Saturday and 10 to 4 on Sunday.
Okay.
But there are only two that are going to be doing after hours for the listening sessions. And you'll be involved with Mike on the one, and
right.
MBL, they always do an after hours. So
Yeah,
the
MBL
other
does a
after,
great after hours. Yeah.
yes, but then we're going to have after hours with Friday evening. We're going to have jazz,
Okay.
full side, and then it's going to be more of a classic rock and dance music full side with a nice vocalist on Saturday evening. And then inside, we're going to be having the jazz guitarist playing kind of background stuff, but he's very good. And that'll be from 8 to 11.
Okay.
So, wherever
It's an
you
all-day thing. Plan to be there
Yeah.
all day.
We love music. And there's something really cool. If you get a chance, Saturday morning for about an hour, there's going to be children that are preteen playing violins. There's going to be
Really?
14, 15 of these children that are from like 8 years old to 12 years old. And they're really pretty good. It's going to be their second public appearance.
Wow. Where will
Um,
they be performing? In the lobby or something?
Yes, in the lobby area. Actually, I'm going to be meeting with the lady that runs the thing to see which place she's more comfortable with. And of course, we want comfort, but it'll be somewhere. It's a pretty big lobby. And there's some walls, so they could be around the corner. But yeah, I'd like to see when the attendees are coming to register, where they just get something beautiful with the children playing right off the get-go. Kind of sets the vibe for a family-friendly event.
Yeah, and I know this venue allowed you to also do some static displays. I think Mike Swek even rented one of the static displays, so you can kind of get a tip off of what's in certain rooms that may attract you.
Yes.
Do you have and you have a vendor area for this or not?
Well, we have three wings. So we
Okay.
have down kind of the beginning of one wing where Mike's at is going to be very large record sales. Down the central one, there's 6 different bays that'll have different products from, cables and all of that. And then down the other wing in the bays is the car audio installers with the various products. So it's pretty cool. It's kind of a different form of marketplace, but the cool thing is you don't have to go to a marketplace. Everybody will pass through all of these products, and it should be a lot of fun and just really convenient.
Yeah, so if you're used to going to this show and maybe being able to get through all the rooms in one day, you may want to budget a 3-day or even multiple day at least, because with the car audio, with a little more of the vendor stuff, and then the after hours, you may want to revisit. I know one of the things I'm going to be doing, and I know Mike Swek is doing this as well, is scheduling also people to come before hours and after hours for dedicated demos. One of the problems we've always seen with shows is that the noise floor is high. You got other rooms playing. You got people constantly coming in and out. It's very hard sometimes for you to get the sweet spot and really make an accurate judgment of what you're hearing. Now you can get a flavor. You can talk to the people behind it, get those other subliminal things and intuition of what brands you like and what you kind of like. But it's really important to get that dedicated seat and have a personal demo if you can. And I know Mike Swek is offering that in his room, and I'm sure others, you can do that as well. If you're really interested in something, don't be afraid to ask for that, because this is a lot of money people spend on this gear, and you want to make sure you get a good demo of it, get to know the people behind it. I think most of the before hours have already been taken up with Mike Swek, but we're going to be doing after hours, I think 2 nights for sure, and even some giveaways. I'll go ahead. Mike, is your mic working now or not?
Is it working?
Yeah, I hear it now. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing some giveaways, and I guess we can announce this right now. It's still in the works of what we're going to do, but after hours, some of the giveaways will be based on audiophile junkie trivia. So people that know things about the channel or people in the channel, maybe there'll be a question about Tom. Hopefully not. Maybe Bob.
Yeah, Bob.
But if you can answer certain trivia questions, you may come away with some quite good giveaways, thanks to Via Blue and others. So that's just one thing that I wanted to announce. Anything else, Mike, in your room? I think when your mic was muted, we were asking what other brands are going to be in your room.
Yeah, so we'll be debuting the Popori WR1s and the WR3s. We'll have 2 systems going, not at the same time, but Margulis will be powering both systems. And I also will have a Coda amplifier for solid state. And then Via Blue will be all the cabling. And then we have some ASC tube traps. And then the Angela Gilbert Young power supply that you collaborated with him on. So it's going to be a very fun show. I think the after hours is going to be a lot of fun. I want to thank Bart for joining this and also put me on the wait list for the bigger room, because I've always wanted to have a bigger room. So I was able to do the after hours. So I'm really excited. I think this is going to be a really fun show.
Yeah, and I guess I'll go ahead and spill the beans about what I'm going to be demoing at this show. So when you have a conference table, you obviously can't do a traditional setup, and that's why, it wasn't conducive to most vendors and companies. But what I am going to be debuting is a revolutionary desktop system. It's going to include the Bach in a desktop form, very similar to what I showcased at CES in the Bach Labs room. But what this is going to have, which has never been done before, not only the spatial cues and frequency response, and at a near field listening position, you will not believe when you take the room out of the equation with near field listening. This is a great chance for people that have never really understood whether measurements make a difference or not. Can they hear better measurements? Does that sound better? We can show you now, sit in this seat, and you will be able to hear on and off clear as day, both spatial cues and measurements, how they translate to what you hear. But one thing that's going to be debuting for the first time ever in the world is the ability to play Atmos and multi-channel recordings now on your 2-channel stereo with the same level of the spatial cues. So this is super exciting for me. It's developed by Edgar at Theoretica Applied Physics. And the reason being is, as I featured in recent videos, YouTube and DVDs have tons of content that we as audiophiles, we talked about car audio getting neglected, but also we neglect all the great video concerts that we either have to have a home theater for or down mix it to 2-channel and don't get the same level of spatial cues. There's so much good content from a requirement, I think, for every audiophile to hear is Bocelli in Tuscany, Italy. That's like one of the best DVDs, best artist ever singing in one DVD. Roger Waters' The Wall, the actual DVD concert, you will never go back to listening to the 2-disc set after you watch that DVD. It's so good. There's so many Eagles, Hotel California. They actually started using, in most streaming now, you are hearing the version that came from the DVD when Hell Freezes Over. It's the version from that DVD, not the one that was on the charts originally. That's what people are using now because the content and the quality in some of these DVDs, there is more attention made. Roger Waters puts a lot of attention into mastering. The Eagles do a lot. Andre Bocelli. These are, without question, if you've never heard these on your system, you are missing out on a ton of amazing performances. And now, without having to have both home theater bypass, play it on one, play it on another, have all these wires, I'm going to be hearing it for the first time because Edgar is literally just putting the final touches on it. But it's also using a desktop system that is in collaboration with Odyssey, which is famous for the headphones, but they also created a desktop system that got major acclaim in stereophile. So, and a subwoofer. So you're going to get full range performance of these with the spatial cues. It's a special software that's never been released, never been heard before. You're going to get to hear this for the first time in Tampa. And I encourage everybody to come by that room, although I have to spend double duty with helping Mike out, going to do my normal press. So I'm going to have people like Tom and others trained to run the room. Reach out to me if you're interested in a dedicated demo for a specific time. But I'll try to have the room. You got to come by, even as early as Thursday night. I want everybody to hear this because when I heard even the lesser version at CES in just a hotel room, I could not believe what I heard. It was literally, no matter how much money I've ever heard on other systems, I had never heard this level of fidelity ever. And so I want to see people's faces. I'm probably going to keep a camera running full time in that room because I want to see people's faces when they hear this. So I'm very excited to showcase that. And I thank you, Bart, for just having this room that nobody else wanted. And I'm happy to debut this. It's going to be my first foray into doing this. But also kudos to you in running one of the top shows. Just the vibe, everything about it is top notch. You want to give a shout out to any of your partners as well that help run the show?
Well, yeah. Oh my God. There's 2 team members that are just amazing. Sue Toscano and Denise Hernenko. without those two ladies, and not only do they do their job, Sue is PR, and Denise is a graphic artist. She also puts the guide together, all the directional signs. But more than that, over the years, and they've been with us since the beginning, they've become very good friends as well. And sometimes I'm a little bit blunt. And they're Bart, you shouldn't say that way. You know, as an older bachelor, it's just like, you know, I'm the crazy grandfather, the crazy uncle that comes out with stuff that maybe sometimes I shouldn't. And not that I mean any harm by it, but they try to knock off some of my rough edges, and God bless them for it. They're just fantastic. Yeah, they're super team players, but they're just super nice individuals too.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to Sue as well. She definitely helps with the press. And yeah, that's the epitome of a team, is when you can supplement each other's strengths and weaknesses and create that vibe that really comes through. Both Mike Swek and Tom live down in that area. So this is a great chance for them to be in their backyard. I would say, I don't know, guys, we've been talking about it in the WhatsApp group, my private WhatsApp group. There's got to be over 10 plus people from my group that's going to be there. Some flying in from around the country. My friend Doug, it's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely don't be afraid to say hi. You can join our crew. We only have so many spaces for dinner reservations to come out with us for dinner, but certainly back in the room at night. Definitely everybody's welcome to join us. Definitely check out the MBL room. Greg Barron always does a great job with the tapes that he brings, and Jeremy has a great setup there. I know Gershman is going to be next to Mike Swek. I'm actually doing a video with them tomorrow to preview what they're going to be featuring. I'm a big fan of Gershman and that their company, so I'm going to be featuring them tomorrow. Any other companies that want to reach out to me, and you know, you just have to be the squeaky wheel and ask with me. You know, Mike Swek asked me, and it's turned out really good. He carries some great products. I'm really excited to hear the Margulis with the Popori. We had VAC and Capital Audiophiles, and VAC is phenomenal. Margulis should be really good as well. And I think you're going to bring some solid state amps too. Is that correct, Mike?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a Coda amplifier.
Coda amplifier is another one you recommend. Yeah.
And then and you forgot the biggest world debut of all, the UHA, the Unique Home Audio custom-made audio rack.
Oh wait, yeah, you made your own rack.
Look at that beast.
Yes.
And it is heavy. It's 1.5 inch butcher block, and it's a couple hundred pounds, I think. So I'm gonna actually have to put it on wheels. I'm moving around a lot because I twisted my back. I just picked up the WR3s today from the airport. They gave me the wrong address, so I literally had 20 minutes to shower, get ready for the Zoom. So I'm moving around because my back is twisted.
Well, those are a lot lighter than the WR1s we just did in North Carolina. Those are really much lighter and could be conducive. I want people to be able to A/B at the show, because not only for budget purposes, but also room size purposes, these WR3s, I'm anxious to hear them myself. And then behind you, I think I just remembered, you're going to have the Bach. We're both competitors in a way. We both represent the few brands that I represent. Mike Swek also represents them now, Bio Blue and Bach. But this is what it's all about. It's not about competition. Plenty of sales to go around. He's a great guy. He takes care of people well. That's the kind of people I'm happy to endorse, whether I'm competition or not. We work together. It's all for the good of these brands that are really doing something special. And that's the same thing that I think Bart embraces. It's not so much competition with these other shows. It's about delivering something that is a great experience for all these brands. They get the right kind of attention, and then YouTubers that can go into all the rooms, not just cherry pick rooms, give these brands the ability to have something more than just that window of time and foot traffic, something that can live on. And I think you highlighted a few brands that are going to be showcasing new things. Hopefully the other press will check that out, give them some attention. Anything else, Bart, you wanted to mention?
Yeah, two things I failed to mention. Revox is coming back to the US with a new reel-to-reel. And Saturday night, VAC and Acora are going to have something after hours as well.
Okay.
So
Yeah, Val always
it's-
does great stuff after
yeah.
hours.
So I forgot that halfway through, as it's been a long day, and I'm jealous of Mike. I have not had a chance for a shower yet. Last minute stuff, getting ready for the show. It's a sprint. And you had mentioned about some of your people with the exotic cars. Next Sunday, we're doing something. It's called the Festival of Speed, which is like 400 exotic cars will be there, and
Really?
thousands of people in attendance.
Wow.
And I have a tent there that we're doing a thing. One of the car installers, he does more than cars. He does home systems as well, and marine OTS audio. We're sharing. He's going to have one of his cars there, and it's another way to reach out to people that have disposable income, and maybe a little bit younger, and chances are they've never heard of an audio show. So hopefully I can get a few hundred of those folks to come and check out what we do, because music's for everybody. I mean, I'm passionate about the music. We need gear to hear the music, and we all have different tastes and different hearing and so forth. But to bring in people and let them see what is possible in this day and age is really stunning. When I got into the cars for the first time just over a year ago, it was just like, holy cow, how is this possible? I grew up with 6x9s on the rear shelf, and it and that was pretty good back then. But what they're doing now is it's insane. And then what we're doing with the home, I can't wait to hear what your system is. I mean, yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm going to have to listen to it.
I'm
How could
super
I not?
excited for people to hear it, because this is exactly, you touched on something. The hobby cannot stay in the static way it's been all these decades, just coming out with Mark II, Mark III, same old stuff. The younger population has a little bit more, they have video games, they have a lot of options to take their attention. And we as an industry have to have the same wow factor that video has with 4K, 8K, 12K TV. Clear difference, easy to hear, easy to A/B. And that's what I'm starting to look for is brands like the Popori. It's so easy to hear the purity of no crossover and one driver doing everything. It's going to definitely attract a lot of people. The Bach is so easy. And then what I'm going to be debuting is going to be super cool. But in the car audio realm, those are the people that if they knew more about these A/B things and can easily hear the difference, like a 4K, 8K TV, they are going to come to the hobby and help grow it and keep it a longevity, instead of the stereotype of it just being guys that sit alone in their room and stare at a wall listening to Keith Don't Go 20 times, over and over, and I got to give props to my WhatsApp group, because they are just, it's over 100 people, but they all are very much the antithesis of the traditional audiophile, and you'll get to meet a lot of them. Unfortunately, I did unmute Bob, and his picture is now showing on the Zoom. I already regret it.
I didn't take a shower either.
But Bob is car audio aficionado, and also I'm going to go ahead and give a little bit of preview that nobody else knows about except the people in my WhatsApp group. I gave Bob a do-it-yourself speaker build, okay? This guy is a woodworker extraordinaire. You would not believe it. Look at him. You would think, is this guy unemployed? But actually, he's quite handy. And this speaker that he built, we're going to have to get him a room next year for this speaker. I mean, he's still developing it, going to make an active product. We got a lot of plans for this speaker, but it is amazing what he built. And so definitely give a shout out to him. He's going to be easy to see because he wears crazy outfits, even crazier than me. I might even retire based on. But yeah, Bob, and your wife is coming too, right, Bob?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So yeah, definitely. We are the antithesis of the stereotypical audiophiles, and everybody is welcome in Mike's room. I'll be going to all these other rooms. Val's great room, MBL. It's a great time. It's a community atmosphere. None of the toxicity, none of the drama. This is one of those shows where, hopefully anybody that's like that leaves that at the door. This is one of these positive environments that I really want to give props to. And thank you, Bart, for joining and sharing anything. Anything else you guys have that what about you, Bob?
I have a comment for Bart.
Yeah.
I think it was a really good idea to embrace the car audio world.
Yeah.
One of the things that got me into home audio was in the 80s, we were doing huge car installs, fiberglass, fabrication work on just a whole new level. Separate amplifiers, electronic crossovers, separate drivers. I mean, controlling the vibrations in the car. That's where it started for me. So then I absolutely wanted it in my home. So I have a different view on the car audio world from how I saw it. They do stuff that's amazing, and I think that it's a direct. The two can coexist, and for some reason that always surprised me that I don't ever hear about that too much at the shows, especially when we're talking about separates and low end, and it's like, wow, they've been doing this for a long time, but they don't know about that over here. It's like two different worlds. But for me, it's all the same. I mean, I love them. I love it both. So,
And frankly, we can learn a lot from them because they have very strict standards in there and how they judge things and provide a good benchmark, especially with their reviews, to give people good guidance. And sometimes our hobby is a little more nebulous. It's just, it's a little more nebulous, to just put it that way.
they have at those shows, they hook up things to check for well, not just SPL, all the frequencies, vibration control, just there's a lot over there. I'm looking forward to seeing what's at Tampa, but I think if people actually go out there, they're going to be floored what's going on over in that world. So it just, for some reason, there was this culture shift. People, like in the 80s, you tore apart your car and it was all stereo and everything else was secondary. That has changed, but I just think that it's a gateway for people to get, because as you make more money, you buy a home. Hey, I want tunes in my house. It's just goes hand in hand. And I think that was one of the things we're missing now. So I was really excited to hear that that's coming to the show. And I think that's something that could get traction.
Well, I'm going to tell you, because I just went to CES and obviously I'm close with Edgar Schwery, and we see the future. We know what the future holds, and what the future holds is the two combining, because almost all stereo, probably in the next decade, will not be from two speakers. Enjoy two speakers while you can, but we are moving towards wave field synthesis, which you see in the Sphere. And anybody that's going to a concert at the Sphere will realize how much far superior it is to any other venue for sound. For once, people are now hearing the difference between, and like a 8K TV, they're getting that visual, but they're also realizing, holy cow, no matter where I stand, it is perfect sound. And so wave field synthesis will allow, it's going to be in a car probably first, even before a home, because it will allow, as I showed in a video from CES, two people in the same car can have perfect imaging in front of them. And
I
on top of
absolutely
that,
know that's coming. That is
I've
for
already,
sure gonna happen.
I got to witness it firsthand. I
Yeah.
got to two people, Pete the Greek, and we were listening, and no matter where we moved, it was
That's
still
amazing.
right in front of us because they have head tracking. But the
Right.
other thing that's coming, and really for a car, can't wait till this gets into competition level, is going to be two people in the car listening to two different songs. So the same thing that we
That's
try to
amazing.
fix, you know, we always talk about, you listen to these speaker designers, they have cancellations from drivers and comb
Yeah.
filtering. Well, now with DSP and the power that we have and the minds that we have, like Edgar, you can use that to your advantage and cancel out everything that this guy's listening to for this guy and vice versa. And it's so eerie how powerful this is. And people just think it's like, some people don't even believe it. They think it's a gimmick. They think it's not science-based, but this is unbelievable what's coming in the future. So the two are going to coexist, because we're going to be having to replace our two speakers probably within a decade or so with these speakers. But anywhere you move in your home, you're going to have stereo sound, and in your car, the same type of speakers, two people, all the things that we look back at people that used to listen to phonograph and the Vitrolas.
Yeah.
We're going to be laughing at what we thought was cool at one point. We just have to have the self-awareness that, what we think is the best now, just wait, guys. So yeah, the two I think are going to go hand in hand. And thanks to Bart for helping start the ball rolling those two together, because that's what I think is going to happen in the future.
Yeah, this year for the first time we're going to have presentations.
Oh, really?
And one of them on Friday is actually the owner of IASCA, which is the car judging group, and one of the judges giving a lecture. And part of that presentation will be on exactly the criteria they use to judge.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
So
That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got several presentations Friday and Saturday that will be really, really good. But that was just one that I personally wish I'd be able to sit it through, but I won't, of course.
What is anybody on your staff videoing these, or would you like me to video them? Or
God, if you have the capability of video them, I would love for that.
well, I think Bob, you'd probably want to go to that talk,
Oh,
maybe.
absolutely.
So Bob can video that for us, and I can put it on the channel. I've had to deputize quite a few people at these shows to get around and get everything. And these guys are all great, and so they do a good job. And so, yeah, I'm happy to do that and put that on the channel, because I think a lot of people may just miss it, not know about the seminars. And that's something that you can get a lot of value from some of these talks. So.
Yeah, there's some very smart people. We're so fortunate. And what you're talking about, what the future holds, that is exciting. Of course, what it's going to cost to replace some of the stuff I have is not quite as exciting, but it's a passion.
You could keep a vintage room, and then you have a modern room now.
Well, I'll have to have a modern winning lottery ticket, I'm afraid.
Exactly. Well, that's true.
I'd like to do.
But technology is allowing us as well to bring the cost down.
Oh my gosh.
Because now we're seeing this technology, at least at CES, being licensed by, I can't even name some of the big companies that are approaching Bach, and they're trying to extrapolate, because like we finally have something in audio that does translate to the layperson. They are seeing and feeling like it's 8K, and they can get that one-to-one. And we all remember what happened when you first got 4K TVs. They just sold like crazy. People wanted them so bad. People were fighting over them whenever they would go on sale. And now the price has come down. So I think that's part of the evolution. Right now, it's still a little bit costly, but in the future, this is going to be accessible to a lot of people. And that's another part of our hobby we got to work on, is making it accessible to more budgets. And so I think you have a lot of brands that provide a lot of high value budget stuff too.
Oh, there's one that I'm really excited about that it took me some effort to get him here. Luka Chesky.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he debuted at Capitol a speaker that's $1,000 for the pair. And I was able to get him to team with Cambridge Audio.
Oh, really? Okay.
Nice.
That is going to be an extremely affordable room, and I'm very much looking forward to hearing it. Luca's room, and I don't promote brands generally, I really avoid that, but I went back to his room 3 times at Capitol. I was just so impressed with the bang for the buck in his room that I really didn't want to take no for an answer of him coming to our show. Just,
That's I'm glad you mentioned.
I'm excited about the value stuff as much as some of the statement stuff. It's just getting people into it, or I don't care if they're a young person, a college kid for the dorm, or a senior that needs to downsize for a small condo or something. We all have our different requirements, but I was just really impressed with that for that price range. There's other brands that are very good as well in that price point, but that Luca, well, I mean, from his family, there's some musical pedigree there, to say the least. So
Well,
He
yeah,
is
David
he is like
Chesky.
18 though.
Yeah, he's a young guy, but David Chesky, there is no recording engineer that is more synonymous with the audiophile hobby. Actually, he works hand in hand with Edgar on the Bach. I mean, that's how he knows that it's an accurate reproduction. All the recordings that you get with a Bach come with David Chesky binaural recordings, and they work hand in hand. So, big fan of David Chesky, but his son doing that at that budget point, that was super encouraging to see. Actually, he offered me a review pair. I just have so many shows right now. I'm going to be doing a review of his speakers. I don't even do reviews. I rarely ever take anything that people offer me to take in review. I turn down, or I give it to some of the other guys in my channel to review. But yeah, this is one I'm going to make an exception for, because a young guy creating a budget-friendly product, I'm happy to spend time dedicated to at some point doing a review of it and giving that promotion, because that's something I can get behind. This is where we need to go as a hobby, not only with the technology we talked about, but making it more accessible to people. Because I know when I started, it was just that one piece that made the difference. The British Fidelity A1 amp for me made everything sound better. If that would have been the wrong piece, I could have probably ditched the hobby. And same thing here. If people can get a quality budget speaker like the Chesky speaker, really feel good about who's getting it and the pedigree behind it, then it makes the whole evolution in the hobby totally different. So I'm glad you got him to come. I didn't know he was going to be at the show. So definitely check that out. All right, guys. So we're coming up on, almost an hour now. So anything else anybody wanted to share?
Yeah. Hey, Jason, I just think the after hours night, I don't know if we're doing both nights or Friday or Saturday, but I think we need to let people to know that we're going to do those videos that you did at Vans when we set up this system. That was one of the coolest things I sat through with music. The emotional attachment was incredible. So I don't know if you want to address that.
What Mike is referring to is something I referenced in my prior video. In North Carolina, we set up a pair of Poporis. And at night, we were listening to a bunch of songs. But what I wanted to showcase to this gentleman is that YouTube has so much good content, like we were talking about with DVDs. And I have a playlist on my channel of great YouTube content. And everybody was enthralled by some of these videos that I was able to play and how good they sounded on a reference system. So what we are going to do in Mike Swek's room is he's going to have a TV in his room. We are going to play at one night some of these videos from YouTube. So you're going to be able to hear firsthand the quality of the recording is there, and how much more enjoyable and how sometimes even better mastered they are, because this particular gentleman had tears in his eyes listening to an Adele song that he's heard tons of times otherwise on streaming. And so this is a chance for people to really use their system more if they realize, like you for the first time, you realize some of these things, Mike, and same thing with Van. I want to make sure I share this with people because it's something I used to talk about a lot on the channel. Just so busy now, I haven't talked about it, but I want to do that at night. And I'm glad you're going to give me a chance to do that. So definitely come by his room. I don't know if it's going to be Friday or Saturday night. Probably both nights we'll do it. But definitely want to showcase that and the Poporis and the Bach, Margulis, Via Blue. That's going to be a phenomenal room. Can't wait. Anything else, guys?
Hey Bart, I'm down in Sanibel actually. We've met a couple times. I'm in the Suncoast Society or whatever. But did you happen to get down to Naples for the Cars on Fifth?
No, I did not. So actually,
Saturday.
yeah. No, there's a limit to how much bandwidth
Yeah.
I have with the boat show, and then
Yeah.
I did that. That was a 5-day event, and there's just all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff with
Well,
the
you mentioned that event in Sarasota, or up in Tampa, and this was an eye-watering display of disposable income like I've never seen, and I've seen a lot. And anyway, good event.
Yeah,
Maybe next time.
I'm sure. What's his name? Collier had some of his cars there. I've been to his private
Yeah,
facility, and that's insane. That's
yeah,
wonderful.
it's crazy. Anyway, looking forward to the show. You do a great job, and I've been going for at least 5 years now, so I look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Awesome,
I
guys.
can't thank you guys enough for this opportunity. And for me, again, it's really about the music and getting people to, I studied meditation real briefly under a Buddhist monk for 2.5 years. I didn't live in a monastery, but when I was in town, this is when I was still working in the oil industry offshore. I'd go and spend 2.5 hours Tuesdays and Thursdays meditating. And when I got back into music, I met several physicians, and they said, well, Bart, you produce very similar stress hormones and neurotransmitters once you get engaged to the music. After like 10 minutes, you are essentially in deep meditation. The music becomes the object of the meditation. And at first, I was really freaking annoyed. You mean I spent 2.5 years doing what I can do in minutes? But then, you think about it for a minute, and how awesome is this? That music has the power to transform us physiologically.
Yeah.
And just bring us down and bring us back to being a kind and loving individual just from listening. How awesome is that? And that's really what my thrust is going forward, is to seriously get people to turn off the blasted news, let their blood pressure drop down, and then just enjoy some music, and everyone wins.
Yeah, I mean, what's the last time you've seen a grown man with tears in his eyes? It was last week, was like first time in like forever witnessing that, because music brought that out, and it was the right song, the right system, everything was just right for him, that it just resonated. And that is, you can't put a price tag on that. This was a very expensive system, but what else could you buy that can evoke that kind of response? A lot of these Ferraris, yeah, you can rev the engine, you can look cool at valet, but nobody ever takes them out on the racetrack and ever uses them for what they're built for. You're using with audio what it's built for. And the payoff, I think, is even better than fancy watches, fancy cars. It's fine if you want to have all of the above, but in my opinion, there's only one of those three that really can evoke this kind of emotion that you're talking about. And that's why this hobby needs to grow. And we need to be focused on technology and things that open it up to a wider variety, whether it's budget, technology, and leave behind some of the dogmas of the past. So yeah, kudos to you to taking those steps for this show. Can't wait for us to see everybody, except for Bob.
Ouch. Feeling the love come through here.
Actually,
Yep.
what Bob looks like now is not going to be what he looks like at the show. He's actually half normal right now. So
The last show, hey, you should tell them a little tidbit about the last show when I was there, what you people were coming up to and saying.
I think people thought he was me, which I mean, kind of ticked me off.
They did, big time. Can we take you out to dinner? I'm like, oh, no.
They were offering to take you out to dinner.
Everything. I'm like, I don't look like Jason. It's like, what is going on? It was like, it was crazy.
Well, we're going to get you, Bart, can you have a name tag for Bob? I am not Jason Audiophile Junkie. Make sure he has a tag at the front desk.
Not AJ.
Not Audiophile Junkie.
No, that was crazy. That even caught me by surprise. I was just like, wow. So
funny story, just real quick to wrap up on. But the first person that ever come up to me at a show and asked to take a picture was Bob. It was.
Are you serious?
Yes. Remember, it was Seattle Audio Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3-4 years ago, whatever it was. I was still a very small channel at the time, but people started to know that I did show coverage, and you knew me, and you and your wife came up to me, and I even mentioned in the WhatsApp group at the time, you weren't in the group, that was the first time somebody wanted to take a picture with me and with a wife, and so, yeah, I still remember it to this day. And now it's more commonplace in terms of taking pictures. And of course, my outfits alone get people taking pictures. So don't hesitate. Sometimes when I'm filming in the room, I see people taking pictures. Don't hesitate to ask for a picture. I'm happy to stop and take pictures now. But Bob was the first. I'll give him credit for that. And and now he's dressed. People are going to want to take pictures of you and probably go viral with how goofy it looks.
I'll tell you what, though, just since I've been on the WhatsApp group, and I mentioned this to you a while back, I had no idea idea how many people it reached, because people come up to me and start talking, and I'm going, oh, like, I don't know who this person is, but they know me. And it's like, where is this coming from?
Yeah, Doug, who's been on my channel a long time. Yeah, and Pete the Greek,
Yeah.
they get recognized quite a bit. So that's what
Yeah.
I like to do, feature all my friends. And, you know, it's all about the journey, taking them along for the fun ride I'm having. And thanks to Bart for catering to the press. You do a great job. And again, I like to bring my friends, and it's about also sharing all of their opinions. So we're going to have wrap-ups with Tom, Bob, Doug, others that are coming from the group, share their opinions to give you guys as many different opinions and taste profiles as possible. It ends up where when we start all talking, oftentimes we all like some of the same things. In fact, I think there's like 4 or 5 people already that have potpourris on order with that speaker. And of course, probably 90% have the Bach as well. But in any case, it's going to be a great time. Lots of content to come from me. I just don't know where I'm going to be. It might come from some of these guys being deputized, but in any case, I wanted to wrap up on that. Anything else, Bart, guys? All right.
Has he already sent you a layout of the show, like where the rooms are at and how it's laid out?
It'll probably be on your website, right, Bart?
Yeah. There's definitely there's floor maps of the floors and directions. It's not ideal. We did have great plans, but the person that sold me the plan didn't materialize quite as advertised, sadly. But anyway, we'll have it better for next year.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining. Can't wait to see you guys in a little over a week.
Yes. Safe travels, everyone.
Okay.
All
Take
right,
care.
see you there.
See y'all later.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.